Okay, I believe we're rolling now. This is the second video I'm doing about strip lights. I'm going to do a series of videos. This is a very basic video. The last video I did was on power supplies. One thing I wanted to mention about power supplies was that with computer power supplies especially, you do need to do certain things. Like this power supply, for instance, will work without any load on it. So you can turn it on with the switch and it comes on, plug it in, turn it on, and you got your power coming out the back. The problem is some don't, like this one here. No matter what you do, you're not going to get any power coming out of the leads unless you apply a load. The easiest way to do it is just take an old hard drive. I'm a hapscabber, I like just doing stuff the easy way, and just plug it in and then you've got power coming out. Basically, I just don't throw anything away. I hang on to stuff and I experiment a lot. That's why sometimes I'll use fuses. Oftentimes I'll use fuses just in case, because I like to protect my equipment. I've collected a lot of power supplies over the years, mostly from old electronics I throw out, so I just hang on to everything, kind of like a hoarder, but they come in very useful. Okay, so this video is, like I say, very basic, and it's going to show you some basic strip lights. Okay, so if you were to buy a strip light online, you'd probably get a power supply like this. You'd get a little controller like this. This happens to be an infrared, so that means that there's this right here is a pickup for it, and you have to have it pointed directly at like a little remote, you know, and you press it and you can change colors and have it fade and stuff. You know, very simple, total package with everything. You know, you might spend 16 bucks with the strip light and the controller and the remote. But, you know, don't need to make a video on that because it all plugs in together. The power supply just simply plugs into this, the strip light plugs into this, and, you know, simple. Alright, the next one, which is kind of a cool one, is one that where you'd have the same strip light, same strip, an RGB we're talking about right now, and you would plug it into a receiver. So this is an RF, which is radio frequency receiver. And with an RF receiver, you don't have to have your remote, like this one's a remote for this receiver, you don't have to have it pointed directly at it to activate it or change colors or do whatever. You just have to be within range. And I found that these work. I can go in my backyard and I can control my lights from there. They have a pretty good range and they'll get through walls and everything else. And all the hookups are here. It's pretty self-explanatory. It'll say red, green, blue. It'll say positive, negative for your power and like that. So let's say you want to extend the length of your strip. Your strip is 16 feet, I don't know what, 5 meters if you want to convert it to meters. So you can only really power off of this, well, I'm sorry, off of a power supply like this. You can really only power one strip, or you're going to overload the power supply. It's going to heat up, burn up. Just not a good idea. So what you do is, after this strip, you put an amplifier in line. This happens to be an RGB amplifier. Looks similar to your RF controller, but it's an amplifier that goes in line. So the wires go in from here to your strip. Then, okay, wires go from, I'm sorry, this is funny. Wires going from your strip, from your controller to your strip and out. And then at the other end of your strip, which is the other end here, it's inside there, it's the other end, it'll plug into the amplifier. Then from there, you plug in another strip and you go another 16 feet and you just keep repeating that. But at each amplifier, you need a power supply. So, you know, just another way of doing it. Pretty cool. I kind of like these remotes. They work really well, unless you have a lot of, you know, RF stuff in your house that interferes, but basically they work real well. They'll give you all the colors, millions of colors. You can dim and brighten them. they'll have preset scenes and stuff like that. So they're a good unit. All right, the next one I can show you would be like addressable strip lights, and they'll have a controller that might look like this. There's a billion different types of them. Let's see, another one would be like this. You know, might look like this. It's addressable, so you can have your lights do animations and chases and different things like that. This one happens to be a DMX one. It's all wired. You all have to wire it in yourself, you know, but it's not that difficult. Most of it comes with instructions, usually really small. But needless to say, all of these units that I'm showing you, all of them, will just use the same transformer. So that'll end the video. Okay, I'm back. These videos are a little bit chopped up. I've got a lot going on, people coming in and out of the door, and I'm trying to do a video, and my dog's bugging me, but whatever. I'm just having a fun time with it, like I say. And pretty much I kind of cobble stuff together. I don't get real technical when I do things. That's one thing that takes all the fun out of playing with the strip lights is, you know, there's people out there who'll get Raspberry Pis and they'll put together, you know, scripts and stuff to run their lights and do all kinds of strange stuff. I can't do that. My memory's not good enough. It's just impossible for me. So I just keep everything simple. Okay, so another basic controller that you don't have to do any programming, you don't need DMX, you don't need computers, you don't need any of that stuff. It's just a simple color wheel. This one I happen to make, it's just a little project box. I took a little black box and I put the color wheel inside. These color wheels are very inexpensive. You can mount them into your wall as in a switch box. You can mount them anywhere you want, really. They're not good for outdoors because they're not very sunlight resistant. After a while, the sun will really beat on these. But it's just a little control surface. They're inexpensive. I don't know, I think I might have paid like 20 bucks for this one, and then the box probably cost me almost as much, just plastic box. The handles I got for free because it was just off my kitchen cabinet, my old kitchen cabinet when I did it. I put in an inlet for my power, 110 volt. It has built-in fuse, you know, I'm sorry, where's my finger? Right there. It's got an inlet for like a computer plug, just plugs in, and then I've got a test button so I can test to make sure, because I've got a little power supply in this. I've got some outputs for power here, just basic stuff. And then I send my lighting out through XLR plugs like you'd use on a microphone, you know, you can make whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the main thing is, with just this controller, all you need is this controller. I think they call them color wheels. This controller, a power supply, basic power supply, doesn't have to be fancy, and then your strip light. And this one happens to be an RGBW, so it'll do red, green, blue, and white. But, you know, that's another type of controller. Let's see. Let me get some more stuff here. This is called a My DMX Buddy, okay? So simply this plugs into your computer via USB, and then this is DMX output, which will go to any DMX light you want. You know, there's billions of them. But I don't use it for DMX lights. I use it for something else. Here's what I use it for. I really should have had all this stuff out ahead of time, but, you know, I'm a half-scabber. Anyways, this is, well, I just ganged 4 of them together, but these are interfaces for strip lights, and they're addressable with dip switches, so you can address them for your DMX channels. So what you do is you take your output from your computer, from your USB, this little DMX Buddy, and you just plug it in to here. And then you can start controlling your strip lights off the backside. I just got some little strip lights here that I'm controlling and playing with. But anyways, you can control them in that way. And that is kind of cool because you can do things like chases and different things, whatever you want to do in the software. The software comes free with the little DMX Buddy. And, you know, it's kind of nice. You can also control this guy here from without any software, without a computer. Now these can be, okay, let's get more into what these are. These can be easily daisy chained together with just basic Ethernet plugs, okay? So, you know, like a Cat 6, whatever Cat 5e probably would work. And you just continue on and you can just keep plugging them together so each module will talk with the next module. I don't know why I try to make everything so complicated, but it really isn't. They say in, out, and you can just pretty much go on with this forever. I mean, depending on how many DMX channels you have. Now, this can be, like I say, doesn't have to have a computer. You don't have to use computer software and stuff. You can buy a simple DMX controller. Now, this is still strip lights. These are not DMX lights. These are all strip lights I'm using. You can just use a basic little controller, like this guy here. And this guy here, you can control your channels and your chases and stuff like this. Very cheap stuff. Cheap, cheap, cheap. I mean, each one of the modules here is probably 18 to 20 bucks, something like that. This little controller, I can't remember, it might have been 50 bucks, I don't know. But you can do quite a bit of incredible stuff. I mean, you're already spending, you know, 15 bucks on a good RGB strip light, so why not have control over the stuff? And that's about it. I'm going to get more in depth on things. I'm going to do just individual projects. I don't know, my first project will probably be basics on tools and soldering irons and stuff. I don't want to get too boring with that, but basically just have fun with it and just have scab cobble stuff together. Who cares? As long as it works, you know. That I've found in life that the best teacher is making mistakes. Don't be afraid to do things. If you don't know how, give it a try. That's what fuses are for. We're only talking about working with 5 volts or 12 volts. It's not like you're going to blow up the world, you know. You can't hurt yourself. Really, I don't even think you can burn up your strip lights I mean, polarity matters, but even if you have reverse polarity, I've never burned up a strip light with reverse polarity. Now, a single LED, you know, a diode, you're going to burn it right up if you have polarity wrong, but not on the strip lights. You can't have any problems with that. All right, I want you to have a blessed day and just enjoy yourself, and I'm signing off for now.